Hi, this is Ben Ivey, the fulfillment artist, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to control your mind. Now for some of you, you're thinking, okay, how can you control your mind? Like, how can we actually control it? Okay, well I have a question for you. If I told you to stop thinking now for the next 10 seconds, can you? Just try it. See if you can stop yourself thinking. You can't. Your mind's going to continue racing. You can concentrate on your breath, you can do things to distract yourself, but your mind still focuses on different things. However, what we can do is direct it and control it, because it's going to do things either way. So there were 5 different things that I wanted to teach you guys today that are really smart ways in which you can gain access and control your mind. Number 1, observe your mind. So what do I mean by this? I mean, have you ever had it where you suddenly felt really angry and you're hearing loads of voices in your head and you don't really know why? And you're just experiencing all this stuff. Well, what I want you to do is take a step back and just observe what's happening instead of being in it. Because what happens is something will piss us off. Right? Someone will cut in front of you and you're like, oh, and you get so angry, and then you just take over, and then you're like beeping and you get really frustrated. So instead go, okay, I'm feeling a lot of anger and I'm experiencing, like me getting really tense and angry and ready to like fight. Okay, so observe it and know that this is a response that we have as a human. Because we're built to survive, the survival instinct is to either fight or flee. So there you're getting ready to fight, right? Because something dangerous has happened. So notice that about yourself, observe it, and then let it go. This is a fantastic way to start controlling yourself. So instead of you being reactionary, you can start to observe the reaction you have and then choose to have a different one. Number 2, look for patterns in your language. So what do I mean by this? By 3 years old, 80% of your psychology has already been formed. And what's going to happen is you will have picked up habits and generalizations from other people that you're not aware of. So do you ever notice how you say, oh, I could never do that. Oh, I always do this. Oh, she's always like that. And we create these generalizations. One of the ways to take back control is to notice when you do that and question it. So whenever you hear yourself go, always, say, always, really? Do I always do that? Is my mum always that annoying? Is my dad really that much of a pain? Is my brother really like that? Is my sister really like that? And you need to start questioning that, because when you do, different things will come up. Look for those words, never, always, those big generalizations. So what happened is that you say, let's say you're at work, let's give an example, and someone leaves the coffee and didn't fill it up. You're like, oh, they always do that. It really annoys me. And when you say always, it gives you no room for improvement because they're always the same. Whereas if you go, oh, okay, that's the second time that's happened. It's not the end of the world, it's just the second time. You can allow yourself to focus on different things and your mind won't get as stressed as perhaps it would be. Number 3 is the Chimp Paradox. So this is a really interesting one. If you haven't read the book, I'd really recommend it. And it splits our mind into these 3 different parts. So the first one is that we have a chimp. And this chimp inside of our brain is like the reaction. So when someone does something and you don't think about it, you just react and get really stressed or angry or whatever it is, right? That is your chimp reaction. It's like a reaction, okay? So that's the first one. The next one is our human. So this is like when we're thinking about what we want to do. I want to do this, I want to do that. This is where we're taking control. And then the third one is the computer. And this is where we do stuff on autopilot. So when you're driving the car and suddenly you're home and you don't really know how it happened, but it kind of did. Or when suddenly you're typing and you're not really thinking about it, you're just tapping away really quickly because your fingers are on autopilot, right? Muscle memory. So we have these 3 different distinctions. So what you can do is say, okay, how can I, do things in the morning or do things in order for me to take back control? So one example is, let's say you're in bed and you're really tired. I used to do this. You're really tired. So instead of you going, okay, I need to get up. Because what happens is you're a chimp, right? You're just like dead, like, ugh. Instead you go, okay, 1, 2, 3, and you don't think about it, you just go up. And what happens then is you're up straight away. It's a really, really cool technique that I used to do to get me up in the morning when I used to be really tired and getting up like a ridiculous hours and not sleeping very much. It's an interesting one to do. But I'd certainly say read the Chimp Paradox, or at least read a summary or check it out. So at least you're aware of these different types of brain that we have, and there's research that goes into it. Like we have a reptile brain, things like that. So it's something definitely worth looking into if you're really looking to control the different aspects of your mind. Number 4, harness your unconscious. So what do I mean by this? Harnessing your unconscious is, I want you to imagine, I don't like using the iceberg analogy because it's not true, but most people get it. Iceberg, 10% on top, 90% beneath. Right? What you're consciously aware of is considered the top of the iceberg, and below is your unconscious. However, it's really more like the surface of the earth versus everything under. Okay, because it's that much. It's like 99.99999% is our unconscious, and only like 0.000001 is our conscious mind. So you need to harness your unconscious. If you want to control your mind, harnessing your unconscious is like the best thing to do. And Thomas Edison, one of the best inventors of all time, came up with different techniques to do this. So he used to hold 2 steel balls and bring a problem to his mind, and he used to fall asleep. Because when you fall asleep, you allow your unconscious to start working on it. And as the balls drop, they would wake him up, and often he would have a new idea. So it's a really cool thing. Next, before you go to bed, this is something that I've recently implemented, is I ask myself a question for my unconscious to think about whilst I go to bed. So one question could be, how could I get fitter? How can I serve my clients better? Or how can I get that promotion? Like whatever it is, but ask yourself a question before you go to sleep, because that way you are harnessing your unconscious mind to think about it whilst you rest. It's a really cool technique. And the last one is condition your mind. So what do I mean by this? If you start reading Think and Grow Rich, and you start reading these books where you understand about the human mind, we basically absorb whatever it is and it turns into a belief, and we believe it's real. So if you start saying things to yourself, for example, affirmations, you say, I can do anything I set my mind to. I can do anything I set my mind to. And you keep saying that to yourself. Your brain, your unconscious will start to believe, I can do anything I set my mind to. I can do anything I set my mind to. So if you come across a challenge, right, you won't even think about it, but you will react in such a way, I can do anything I set my mind to. I can do anything I set my mind to. And that will really help you move forward past that. So the question for you now is, what affirmations can you do to create the mind that you want? Because if you've got the end goal in mind, like you're watching this video, what is it that you want to control? And start to affirm yourself in that way to help condition you. Other things that condition you are the people you spend time with, your environment, the books you read, what you listen to, the music you listen to. It's really, really fascinating what's coming into our unconscious. So be more aware of this and start to condition your mind in a way that really helps you move forward. And the last thing I wanted to say is a mentor of mine said this to me. And he said that, Ben, bear in mind that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay. We are all human. No one's perfect. You're never going to control your mind 24/7. But these techniques will give you the tools and skills needed to start redirecting your mind and helping you gain much more control than perhaps you did before. Comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.